As I had read the 7, now there is a suspect number 1, Tabasima Barbara, otherwise called the Katshabe Sharon. This one is a Ugandan and the secretary of Emerald Company Limited. I don't know. It's the one.
Okay, so like I said, some introduction was done to our own country's representatives here, which we felt would have helped to clarify their identity. And of course, they took them to physical office locations, which they believe that will not be used for such very clear fraud, only to find out that those locations are actually being used to defraud people. So it is still the dealing with that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you. The main reason actually why we are doing all this is to expose these people so that members of the public whom may have been scammed by the same people to come up and report to us. Okay? That's the main reason, among many others. Yeah, I don't know, with your permission.
So I am a Nigerian, and incidentally, I am a two-term member of the parliament in my country. So I am somebody who has been involved in this mineral sector even in my country. I have licenses for my company in Nigeria, but we have challenges with the gold business in Nigeria because of the area where it is discovered is where we have a lot of bandits and terrorists. So it is not something that average Nigerians can even explore. So when my partner in Dubai informed me that in Uganda there is gold that usually comes in from the DRC, and then paperwork is processed here, and then the gold is moved to Dubai, we thought it was a good opportunity to explore. So like he rightly pointed out, the individuals that were introduced to us, what they normally claim, like there were two so-called agencies involved. One was called Emerald Agency Limited. The other one was called Legacy Refinery Limited. And they claimed that they would usually receive the gold from the border, get the clearance, then they will go and store it in a security house. And the security houses they claimed they were storing it in was a house called Dog Hunters. I'm giving you these details so that you can also allow and enable other people to know what the strategy normally is and the story. So they claim that as the agent, they would take the gold from the person who brings it in from the community, and the people in DRC normally claim that they are bringing it on behalf of their community into Uganda because of the structured process in Uganda, which makes it easier for them to get the paperwork and then export it to any location for sale. So they said they were going to store it. Those are the agencies now. They're storing it with Duck Hunters. That's a name that keeps coming up as a security house. And Homeland, that's another name they also called. And then they claim that once it is stored in that house, you cannot get it out until you do some paperwork. So they will claim that you need to pay a certain percentage of the value of the gold before they can start the paperwork. Then after that is done, before you can move the gold. Then there's something they said which started to raise our suspicion. They claim that the government of Uganda has put a limit to the percentage of the gold you bring in that you can export out of the country. They claim that you have to take 20% of the value of the gold that was declared by the community at the border that was brought into the country, and this is part of the scam that we found out was going on. So when they started to make these demands about what was required for the paperwork, as law-abiding citizens in our country, we also believe that we have to follow whatever rules there are, and we believe that those were the rules. You have to do all the paperwork, all the clearance, all the taxes and royalties and whatever, which they claimed they were going to do. So that's how come we gave them that amount that there are two different parties involved. Emerald received $30,000 from us. Legacy received $40,000 from us, claiming, and it was supposed to be for 3 kg of gold, and then the other one was for 4 kg of gold, which they claimed they were processing the papers for. So after a while, when they supposed to have prepared the papers, they started telling stories about this percentage I'm telling you about, and that is where our suspicions started to arise. So I, unfortunately, was not in Uganda when those monies were sent, because my partner in Dubai seemed to have thought these people were legitimate people because of the fact that we tried to inform our own authorities in Uganda about this transaction that was going on. So we felt that they would not be able to lie to that extent. Of course, we didn't know the level of the syndicate that was operating this scam in Kampala here. So I had to come into Uganda myself after hearing these stories for so long to come and make a formal complaint. And I want to commend President Museveni for setting up this State House Anti-Corruption Unit. I want to commend the work of Brigadier General Henry Isoke and his very able team, who have swung into action immediately after the day this formal report was made to them. The operatives were available, and the funny thing about these people is they use numbers that we believe are registered to call. Some of them even sent us their passport data pages, to show that they are real people. Then they use locations, offices here, which we want to believe the investigators will find out the ownership of those locations. Like Emerald was at one place we found out to be number 1 Mackay Close. The other one was another one in Kasuramu area, another office. So they take you to an office, and in those buildings at the back, they have where they claim to be smelting the metal. So another thing I need to point out that is important for other people not to fall victims. These things you see here are another type of metal, because they actually will smelt it. You will see them smelting something. Then they will pour it into some molds that look like gold bars. That's how come they come out to this shape. Then they will cool it in water and then tell you that this is the gold. Then they'll tell you they are bringing a government official to come and test. Of course, if you don't know the process, you will think that the person is really coming to do a test. So he'll come with something like a machine and come and say he's testing the gold, and he'll even write some results. So this is the result. And then the unsuspecting person will think that that is really gold that they're showing them. Then they'll take it and say they are taking it to the security house, so you need to pay some more money. So fortunately, before any further money was taken, we made this report to the anti-corruption unit, and they swung into action. We were able to get all the people involved that we were talking to. Some of them, like in the Emerald Agency, there's one Mr. Oliver or so that they have not been able to provide details of, but they claim he's their boss. But the people who met with us, the operatives apprehended them, which I'm sure they'll show to you here. Even in Legacy, we also were able to fortunately grab them, because they were still expecting we're going to give them more money, which is what we were promising them to. We are very happy that this agency is being able to carry out this level of work, because it is going to save a lot of my compatriots. I'm speaking here now on behalf of my other Nigerians and other nationals who have fallen victim of this. There are several of my compatriots running, like he said, into millions of dollars, who unfortunately didn't follow the same process I did to raise this issue, who have fallen victim of this. So it is important that we applaud the work that they're doing. We are interested in genuine investment in this country, and if given the opportunity by President Museveni and the relevant agencies, we're ready to invest significantly in the economy of the country. But we now know that we have to look for the right institutions and agencies. Unfortunately, when I came to Uganda, I found out about the State House Investors Protectors Unit, Investors Protection Unit, yes, that we now believe that we need to engage with to be able to start to advise even all our embassies in Uganda before any of your nationals come to invest here. They need to be in touch with that agency so we know you are dealing with the right people. So in a summary, this is what has happened. So right now we are hoping and trusting that we can be able to recover the money that was dubiously taken from us. That is what our priority is. And then we know going forward how not to go about this business inside Uganda. Thank you very much.
Now, at this point, I take the opportunity to introduce the suspects. The arrest led to 8 suspects, and they are here. And I'm going to be reading name by name. And our people will be helping us. Suspect number 1 is called okay, as they bring them, we call upon you really, comrades. Are they there? Oh, okay, I've been guided that as we wait for the other people, Mr. Mark Tessa Bira, this gentleman is the one who was scammed $70,000. So do you wish to